You promised you'd never leave. I buried her myself, with my own hands. Not because I had to, but because I had promised. That I would never leave her alone. The soil was cold. There was silence in the air. And my hands were shaking. She hated silence. But I still didn't say anything. When he was dying, he said, "Don't leave me." And I said, "I'm not going anywhere." But the truth? I had left him long ago. 3 days after the burial, the door opened by itself. I had locked it. I always do. Then that smell came. Honeysuckle. Lavender. The same perfume I buried with it. And then her voice came, faint, confused. "James, why is it so dark in here?" She was standing in the kitchen, the same jeans, the same shirt, the same smile. But I had buried her in a white shroud. She wouldn't blink, wouldn't eat, just kept repeating my name like a prayer or a curse. James, James, James. Then I saw. There was a picture on my phone. I was sleeping, and in the mirror, behind me, she was standing, smiling. I never took that picture, but she said, "What do people do in grief?" That night, I closed the bedroom door. But at 2:03 a.m., a voice came, not from the door, from inside the wardrobe. Then she started singing, a lullaby I had never heard before. And every time she sang, my nose would bleed. One night I found her in the basement, standing in front of the boiler, quite silent, just whispering to it. And the boiler answered her. I packed my bag. I told her, "I'm going on a business trip." She smiled, as if she knew everything, and said, "Don't stay too long. It's bad to be alone." Those were the words that she said before she died. But that thing, I didn't tell anyone. I went to a motel 3 cities away and stayed. When I opened my eyes in the morning, there was a handprint on the mirror, from the inside. Then, the same scent, honeysuckle, lavender. The clerk said, "The payment has been made. Your wife gave it to you." The receipt was signed by Sarah. If anyone hears this recording, just remember one thing. Don't make promises to the dead, because if you break them, they'll come back to make sure that you keep that.
An 11-year-old girl was sleeping peacefully in bed, when suddenly, she was lifted into the air. Windows slammed shut. A loud bang echoed through the house. This isn't a movie, it's real. This is the terrifying true story of the Enfield poltergeist, one of the most shocking paranormal cases ever documented. The year was 1977. In a small house in Enfield, North London, lived Peggy Hodgson, a single mother raising 4 children. Life was tough, but peaceful until things began to change. It started with little things, doors opening and closing on their own, knocking sounds in the walls always at night. Then furniture began to move. Chairs slid across the floor. Drawers opened without warning. Something was inside the house, and it wasn't human. The strange activity focused on Janet, the 11-year-old daughter. One night, her mother found her levitating above the bed, body stiff, face pale, eyes shut tight. Then came the voice. Not Janet's voice, but something deep, old, and angry. From Janet's mouth came a gravelly male voice claiming to be Bill Wilkins. He said, "I used to live here. I died in that chair in the corner." The voice was terrifying and lasted for hours. Doctors confirmed no child could fake such a voice without damaging their throat. Yet Janet did, night after night. The family was desperate. They called the police. When the officers arrived, they saw a wooden chair slide across the room by itself. One officer signed a legal statement saying what she saw was unexplainable. It was no longer just a family's word. It was official. Photographers and news reporters came to investigate, and they captured it. Janet floating in midair, her body limp, eyes closed, rising from the bed like something pulled her up. It made front-page headlines across the UK. Paranormal researchers spent months in the home, Audio tapes, photographs, and voice recordings were collected. Renowned investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, the couple behind the Conjuring cases, even visited. They declared this was real and extremely dangerous. Some skeptics claimed it was a hoax, attention-seeking behavior by bored children. But how do you explain the voice, the police report, and how could Janet speak for hours in a man's voice without pain? Years later, Janet admitted that they did fake some events, but she insisted many things were real, too real. She said, "You don't go through that for nothing. It changed my life." The house still stands today. The current owners avoid publicity, but neighbors say, strange things still happen. Doors still slam by themselves, and voices still echo in the dark. So what do you believe? Was it all just imagination? Or did something evil really take over a little girl's life? This was the terrifying true story of the Enfield poltergeist. If you enjoy real horror stories and unexplained mysteries, subscribe now to Chasm of Nightmares. And tell us in the comments, have you ever experienced the paranormal?